Welcome back. And before I go any further, so I don't forget, did I get it right? Did you say Chukwu Nwandu is on the line? Is that what you... Is Chukwu Nwandu on the line?
Yeah, Chukwu on the line.
Okay. What's your name?
Chukwu.
Okay, go right ahead. I didn't hear it. You slurred it, but welcome.
My name is Chukwu.
Okay, Chukwu. Okay.
I'm calling from Abakaliki in Ebonyi State.
Okay, then. Go ahead quickly, please. Go ahead, please.
Okay. My point is this. My point is this. In this case, there must be a starting point. There is nothing wrong about probing a past administration, and you don't expect him to go and jump to start with Kwankwaso. He must start with his immediate predecessor, then before going to Kwankwaso. And he mustn't model up the whole thing. He must start from somewhere. Which is that the analysts have interest. When you are biased, you must not see anything good about what someone is doing, because already you have interest. And since you have interest, you don't supposed to be a judge in your own case. You're talking about demolition will inflict more hardship. What of the demolition going on in Lagos State? Is it not inflicting hardship? You're talking about probing that you don't supposed to probe, that the Minister President. What of the probing in the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and the probing in the CBN? So there must be probing for good governance. When you probe somebody, the next person that will succeed will probe you. When you know that you must stick and rule according to the Constitution. You mustn't be taking away something that doesn't belong to you or taking away public funds.
Okay. Thank you very much for calling in, Chukwu. Points taken. Added to it. Yes.
So let's continue with the discussion.
Yes. I interrupted you before we went on break. And Chukwu came in.
I was trying to draw an inference from the statistics of the election, the 2023 election in Kano State. But let me rewind a little bit. The total votes he scored when the 165,000 votes were restored to him was 1,019,000 votes, as against Gauna Idris, who scored 890,000 votes. Like I said earlier, if the 165,000 was not restored back to him, he will not be governor today. So, from the slightly over 5 million people in Kano that registered to vote, we had like a 43% turnout. So that left the entire thing around slightly just over 2 million of the people that voted. And if close to 1 million voted APC, and then 1 million plus voted you can see how polarized Kano is now. So, the moment you became governor, your party became irrelevant, and governance should take center stage, and politics should begin to fade backwards. But to embark on this mission is a sign that you are not letting go of the fights and the fireworks of politics. Politics is still continuing almost a year after your election or your assumption of office, instead of governance taking center stage. These are our concerns.
Okay, governance and development.
Governance and development, governance and its attendant development should take center stage. Politics should begin to take backstage.
Okay, that's the point.
So that's the point we are making. So that leaves a lot of the people on ground who are enthusiasts and followers and members of one other political party or the other to say, oh, so is politics still going on? So let's still hold our swords under the emblem of APC, PDP, NNPP, and so on. So the swords are still up. The swords should have been sheathed by now, and then everybody united, in a cohesive work unit to move Kano forward.
What, in your opinion, is responsible for this? Because it's such a logical position.
Yeah.
I would be very, very surprised if His Excellency Governor Abba Yusuf was not aware of the rightness of your position. So the next thing to think about is, look, loyalty to, whatever. I mean, don't get me wrong. It has been discussed frequently. Godfatherism, for lack of a better word, is sort of a necessary, it's necessary in Nigerian politics. To what extent do you think that is playing into this? Because the Governor Abbas on his own, any governor on his own might see it one particular way. But is there the further complication of godfathers sort of factoring in to the very, very delicate equations on the ground.
You see, extended beyond politics, in every endeavor of life, after God the Father, you need godfathers. Because men are always the platform and method by which a new generation can be raised so that there can be continuity of any good that is happening in society. So, godfathers are needed in every sphere.
Okay.
If you're a preacher, you need a pastor over you. If you're an imam, you need a senior imam over you. If you're a general, there should be an ex-general who is mentoring you. So godfatherism is a necessary indices as far as the equation of success and progress is concerned.
It's not an evil the way some people make it.
It's not an evil. The machinery of godfatherism is puritanical. It's not an evil thing. It is the drivers of that machinery per time that can be good or evil. Just like money does not have a conscience. It takes on the conscience of the person holding it per time. So, godfatherism, like I said, is an essential thing. But there are two kinds of godfathers, the mentors and the tormentors. Who are the mentors? They are the ones who have foresight, they have vision, they are people-oriented, they are community and society-oriented, and they develop people to be able to, follow a positive trajectory and build on the foundations that they have laid for common good. So those are mentors.
Are godfathers at play in Kano?
Then the tormentors are the toxic godfathers who use their proteges, to build castles for themselves, to build a name for themselves. So when you come to the Kano factor, you will see the clear hand. It's not even a hidden hand. People had a proverb that when you see an insect dancing on top of the water, somebody beneath is playing the drums. In this case, the drums are open and the hands playing them are open. And who is the drummer playing this drum? The benefactor of Abbas Yusuf, in the person of Engineer Rabiu Kwankwaso. He has come out, time without number to criticize this current administration and then to call. He is the one who is reading out the manifesto for the governor. So we wonder, who is the governor? Is Abbas Yusuf's tenure Kwankwaso's third term, or Abbas Yusuf is the governor of Kano State? Those are the things we are wondering. So the influence of this godfather, which we are seeing to be a toxic one, he is a tormentor instead of a mentor, is playing very, very obviously as far as Kano politics is concerned. Okay,
let me hold that for a while. We might want to return to it or not. But Peter in Edo State has called in. Good morning, Peter.
Yes, good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. Go ahead, please.
Yes, okay. I would love to make my own contribution to this wonderful topic that is being discussed this morning on your program.
Yes, you're very welcome. Go ahead.
Okay. You see, the issue on ground is very vital to the development of this country, and it is one of the bane of progress in this country. What your guest is trying to say indirectly is that Nigeria is a farm where everybody come and take their own as they so wish. And once the person leaves, nobody should bother about what he or she has done. You should just go. Come and take your own share and go. And that is not how a country develops. That has been the issue with Nigeria. When a governor or leaves office and if a person wants to look into the books, he starts to shout. Why? So person did it. No, we should be looking for accountability. We saw some of the things that Ganduje did in Kano, how he stuffed dollar into his pocket. I'm not going to go into that. But the issue is that we shouldn't pet the country or the notion that Nigeria is a national farm. So it's a national cake. Everybody comes, cuts his cake without accountability and goes like that. Then the next person comes, he's supposed to close his eyes to what he's done before and continue taking his own cake. No. So in that case now, you are telling the current governor now, Sani, to also take his own share of the cake and leave. That nobody will put it to him. So to me, I don't think that is how a country should be run. That's not nice.
So wait a minute. Let me get you clear, Peter, if I may. Are you for the probe or not?
I am for the probe.
You are for the probe.
Yes. And hand is clean.
And for it to be extended further backwards in order to be seen as more equitable.
Well, Ganduje was there before Sami. Why did he bother to do the probe of his predecessor before that?
Okay.
So if this governor has come now and said, okay, I want to probe this first, then fine, let it start. Because it depends on him. He's the one doing the probe. So he sets the gates of the probe, the scope of the probe. But the bottom line is that we shouldn't have that perception that Nigeria is a farm, or is a national thing, that anybody comes and takes his own share.
All right.
That fear of accountability. And that is what...
Okay. Well, there you have it.
Thank you very much, Peter. Let me just quickly correct a notion. The metaphor you use is not an appropriate metaphor of Nigeria being a farm and people come, take their share and go. I see Nigeria rather as a tree planted, and each successive administration should water and manure, not cut branches and go. Let's have a contributory approach to Nigeria. Let's have an investor's approach to Nigeria, not a consumer's approach that comes to take and go, but comes to plant or to water what has been planted before. Okay, that having said that, we are emphasizing that if you see in this matter of the probe, there is no move so far by Abdullah Ganduje to thwart this probe. If there are moves, he is now filing a motion in this court to stop the probe and so on, you would have suspected that he has a lot to hide. When you talk about the case of the dollar, like somebody said earlier, those are matters that the Attorney General of the Federation and EFCC has the jurisdiction to be able to handle. As I speak to you right now, in 2 days' time, which is 17th of this April, the matter is coming up in the High Court. So he has not made any move at all to quash, to thwart, or to even slow down this matter as a sign that he is open, to being probed. So we are simply saying, if somebody is open to being probed, we are not on a crusade to say, Abba, don't probe. Our crusade is simply saying, Abba, if you will probe, please probe long enough. Here he mentioned something. When Ganduje came, Ganduje did not make any move to probe Kwankwaso, who was his predecessor, because he believed that having taken the reins of control or the reins of power or leadership in Kano, he should be driving forward and not looking backward. So we're simply saying, if experienced people like this have laid a precedence, the young Abba Yusuf should not display political exuberance or delayed adolescence in trying to look back. Go forward. That is what we're saying. But if you will look back at all, please look back far enough so you can see well to be able to probe. And that's all our point.
And, that was why I was wondering the part that you thought godfathers, because clearly Kwankwaso is the godfather of Governor Abba Yusuf. That is clear. So it really it goes above him, if you want. It goes really above him.
Above Yusuf, yes.
Yes, sort of above his head. You've got to have the, people like Kwankwaso himself on the same page with progress and development in Kano State. Now, clearly, from Kwankwaso's point of view, this is progress and development. He has always put his own side of the story next to the Ganduje story, as you know. He's never been on all fours with him. So this is why, and people have warned that you have to be very, very careful about Kano. You have to be very, very careful. There are states, every state is important, but then there are states where if you rock the boat unnecessarily, the ripples might, expand far beyond the very confines of Kano. So what room do we have? What other ideas beyond what you are doing now? Calling on common sense to prevail. Common sense and political sense don't often coincide.
2 things quickly. Kwankwaso, as the leader of NNPP, is grappling with a lot of issues within his party right now. The matter of parallel conventions that happened recently, where the national leaders were elected, I think somebody who is coming up to fix a city should be able to, number one, show us an example by fixing his own house first. If you fence your house, then we can have the trust in you that you can fence, our village. So, if an imbroglio is on within NNPP. 2 conventions held, 2 parallel, leadership emerged. One is summoning Abba Yusuf now to say, why did he identify with those so-and-so convention, where they had said at the national working level of NNPP that it was illegal for him to identify with a particular convention. So we're simply saying, whatever is happening within NNPP, which is the division and the chaos, Kwankwaso should not engineer Abba to carry on that into the politics of Kano.
Okay.
That is all we are saying. Be a good mentor. Be a positive, development-minded leader, that you order the step of your younger ones in the right direction. I will leave it. I will just drop a thought here that if you feel that we can expand on, we should expand on. If there should be a university at all for godfatherism in Nigeria, I think one man qualifies to be appointed unanimously as the chancellor of that university. I'm talking of no other person but His Excellency Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu, GCFR. And I have my reasons for saying that.
Okay.
He had the same privileges Kwankwaso had in 1999 to govern Lagos State. And then, number one, he became a beautiful judge of talents. He brought young people under his wings, mentored them. Beyond indigenship of Lagos State, they were indigents of other southwestern states, but he brought them magnanimously, selflessly, sacrificially. He tutored them. And all the people he tutored have become either political giants or notable technocrats in business today who are contributing meaningfully to the economy of Nigeria in various spheres. He raised a beautiful vice president of Nigeria. Various ministers have come from under him. And today, he is president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You can see, number one, he has foresight.
At the time,
he judges good talents.
For the benefit of Lagos State.
Beautiful.
At the time.
So, I am saying this because,
the interest of Lagos State
vis-a-vis,
at the time,
Kwankwaso has the ambition to lead Nigeria. Just like his mate, 1999, as governor of Lagos State, had ambition to lead Nigeria. This is the kind of trajectory you follow, to be able to lay a track record of transparency and fairness.
Let me apologize and thank Daniel in Oshogbo, who has held on for quite a long time. Good morning to you. Thank you for holding on. Daniel?
Yes.
Daniel in Oshogbo. Go ahead now, please.
I'm here.
Go ahead, please.
Hello.
Go ahead now, Daniel.
Our problem here is the question of immunity. The immunity that government and president are enjoying.
Okay. Is that what you wanted to say, Daniel?
I have not concluded.
Oh, yeah, please. Go ahead. Quickly.
There must be the legislature to be able to review the issue of immunity that they are enjoying. If they are there and they commit crime, the crime of stealing public funds,
okay,
they should be prosecuted.
Okay.
It should be possible to try them.
Okay, I get the point you are making. I really get the point you are making. Thank you very much for calling in. And yes, he was talking about immunity, and of course there are implications in what he said vis-a-vis.
Let's go on with our thoughts.
Yes, but very, very briefly, because we've used up all our time. It's one of those kind of dynamic subjects. And have you noticed something interesting? Not a single person has called in from Kano State. It's sort of curious, isn't it? You know, people have called in from all over the place, but please continue. I would have thought that we'd get a deluge of calls from Kano State.
Yeah, I was thinking as well, because nobody has been disenfranchised as far as the technological reach of TVC is concerned. So there are viewers from Kano right now. There are viewers from all over the world.
That's right.
Because of the reach of TVC.
Yes.
So whoever calls or whoever does not call, I think we should leave their sentiments to them.
In them.
Yeah.
Okay, so in conclusion now, you've made the point very clearly that you as an analyst, as a commentator, indeed, as a non-member of NNPP, are not against the principle of probe. That's not what you're saying. You are saying that that probe should be seen to be fair. Let equity be brought to bear. Let's go far enough back to include those that need to be included if this is not to be seen as a witch hunt.
That is the objective. Everything we've been saying in various words boils down to this same matter. And for Abba Yusuf to show transparency, to show the holistic intentions of governing a united Kano, prospering the fortunes of Kano, he should simply go back long enough. And if he goes back long enough and he finds anybody, even his benefactor, and even himself under his watch as Commissioner for Works,
let them face
housing, let them be able to face this matter. We are simply saying the last 8 years is not enough to establish the matters of the fortunes of Kano going forward.
Okay.
So he should be able to look backward. Governance is a continuum. One administration leaves, and the other comes and continues with the liabilities and assets of government. Go back long enough and then ensure that your probe is holistic and of good intention. Not a witch hunt, not a vendetta.
Thank you very much, Honorable Pastor David Ogbole. Thank you very much. It's been you've put across these points, very articulately, and everybody understands what we're talking about.